हेलो, नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल। सभी का एक बार फिर से इस लाइव स्ट्रीम में स्वागत है, जहां पे आज हम वर्ल्ड कप का एक तरह से कह लीजिए उद्घाटन करने वाले हैं। आई मीन प्रीकर्सर टू द वर्ल्ड कप का ईव आप जिस शब्दों में बयां करना चाहें कर सकते हैं। बट द ऑल इन मेगा इवेंट विल स्टार्ट टुमारो। England versus New Zealand. How big an occasion is it, and how big it can get tomorrow? We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and watch. Till then, हम आज बहुत कुछ डिस्कस करने वाले हैं। कल के स्ट्रीम में हमने 5 टीम का विश्लेषण किया, 5 टीम का प्रीव्यू किया कि उनकी स्क्वाड कैसी दिख रही है, कैसा वो कर सकते हैं वर्ल्ड कप में, उनके क्या चांसेस है, उनको रेटिंग्स भी दी। तो अगर आपने नहीं देखा है तो इस लाइव स्ट्रीम देखने के बाद वहां पे जाइएगा और देखिएगा जरूर, ताकि आपको पिछले 5 टीम का मिल जाए, जो कि थे अफगानिस्तान, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, बांग्लादेश, इंग्लैंड एंड इंडिया। और जो 5 टीम बचे हुए हैं उनके आज करने वाले हैं। अलोंग विथ मी संचित देसाई, द लेजेंड रिटर्न्स। संचित, हाउ एक्साइटेड आर यू? एक दिन मतलब वन नाइट अवे, वन स्लीप अवे फ्रॉम द मेगा इवेंट। कैन इट गेट बिगर देन दिस?
Exactly, Ronak. I mean, first of all, thank you again for calling me. And one sleep away is a very subjective concept है. मतलब हम cricket fans जो इतने crazy है for cricket, do you think we will be able to sleep knowing that the World Cup is
राइट।
just hours away? यार मतलब one day भी नहीं बोल सकते. Within like 14 hours time, you'll have the first ball of the World Cup. Maybe Trent Bolt
या
bowling in his groove. So I mean, just thinking about it, it really feels exciting. And the fever, World Cup fever, जिसके बारे में हम बात करते हैं, it has already kicked in. And really excited for it. But आज के शो में I think the remaining 5 teams, it is going to be very very interesting because yesterday we ended on a note talking hyping about this episode कि fourth team in our possible semi-finals की जो prediction है, they will be one of these remaining 5. So it is going to be very interesting to see what kind of prediction we can do, and even comments में आज interaction देखने को काफी मजा आएगा because we will obviously have different answers for everything. So really looking forward to it.
यस, एब्सोल्युटली। एंड एज यूजुअल यूसुफ परवेज भाई हमारे रेगुलर ऑडियंस हैं और वो हमेशा टाइम पे अपनी हाजिरी, अपना अटेंडेंस लगा देते हैं। वेलकम यूसुफ भाई टू द स्ट्रीम। एंड होपफुली कल का मैच, आप वैसे इंग्लैंड के काफी बड़े सपोर्टर लगते हैं। कल आपने कहा था कि इंग्लैंड वर्सेस न्यूजीलैंड फाइनल होगा और इंग्लैंड जीतेगी। आई मीन ऑल द बेस्ट टू यू। आपकी अगर फेवरेट टीम है तो आप कमेंट्स में जरूर बताएं। बाकी यस, कल 5 टीम हमने डिस्कस किया था। 5 टीम में से 3 प्रोबेबल फाइनलिस्ट थे, फाइनलिस्ट नहीं सेमीफाइनलिस्ट थे, प्रोबेबल 3। और जो आज 5 देखेंगे उसमें शायद एक या फिर कोई एक और होगा जो कहते हैं ना डार्क हॉर्स बन के आएगा और सडनली जो है
True.
टॉप 3 जो ऑलरेडी है उसको स्नैच कर लेगा। लेट्स सी हाउ इट अनफोल्ड्स। और आज की हम डिस्कशन चालू करते हैं विद आवर टीम्स। बट बिफोर दैट, जितने लोग देख रहे हैं स्ट्रीम को, प्लीज लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें। और जो लोग बाद में देखने वाले हैं कमेंट करके जरूर बताएं कि आपकी फेवरेट टीम कौन सी है वर्ल्ड कप में और कौन सी टीम जीत सकती है इन द वर्ल्ड कप। और कुछ पसंद ना आए स्ट्रीम में तो वो भी कमेंट्स में जरूर लिखें, क्योंकि अच्छी बातें आप लिखे ना लिखे फर्क उतना शायद नहीं पड़े। अप्रिशिएशन होता है, अच्छी बात लगती है, लेकिन आप अगर जो पसंद नहीं आया वो लिखते तो हमको सीखने को मिलता है, हमको सुधरने को मिलता है। तो आप प्लीज कमेंट्स जरूर करें। चलते हैं अपने स्ट्रीम की तरफ। पहली टीम आज की कौन सी है देखते हैं सीधा। नो टाइम वेस्ट, नथिंग। यूसुफ भाई थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ट्यूनिंग इन अगेन। हम सीधा डिस्कशन करते हैं, फिर हम आएंगे आपके कमेंट्स के तरफ भी। तो लेट्स गो ऑन डायरेक्टली टू आवर team number 6. It was we ended on India and now it is Netherlands.
Netherlands, nice.
Sanchit, before we begin the discussion on Netherlands, how inspirational is this Netherlands? ये जो 11 है या 15 कह लीजिए, उसमें से 8 या 9 लोग रेगुलरली क्रिकेट नहीं खेलते हैं। On a daily Monday to Friday, they do their jobs like a lawyer or a doctor or someone else. But when it is about cricket, वो अचानक से सब मिलते हैं और फिर क्रिकेट खेलना चालू कर देते हैं in the season. And that is how, without through and through preparation, without through and through practice, without through and through support from their management, they still are here at the World Cups. Out of the 96 teams that play cricket, they are the 10th team to join the World Cups. How big is it for them? First of all, then we'll discuss the squad later.
Absolutely big, Ronak. I mean, Netherlands is one of the team which I always enjoy watching from the associate nations, and they have always been the part of some historic upsets कह सकते हैं. I mean, England were on the receiving end two times in the last decade or so. We all remember the 2009 T20 World Cup where they beat England at Lords, and that was quite amazing. And recently also they managed to beat England as well. So Netherlands have always created some amazing matches, and I think one of them has to be the match that they played against Ireland, although in T20 format, but the run chase that they put up with, I think 119, 14 or 15 overs. So Netherlands have always played some amazing cricket, and it is so good to see them in a World Cup, a 10 tournament World Cup. I remember 2019 में जब ये format shift हुआ था, people were like, यार associate nations को भी और tough होगा to break in because it is so difficult. There is so much competition. How can you live out? So Netherlands coming ahead of two times World Cup winners, West Indies. It is a big, big, big deal because West Indies missing out on a World Cup is a huge deal. It is like Italy missing out on a FIFA World Cup just because of their history in the past. Similarly, West Indies missing out is a big deal, especially in 50 over World Cup. So Netherlands making it, it is a big deal. And I remember one post going viral just after they secure their qualification where the Netherlands captain and the board actually begged the other cricket board to play some bilateral series with them ahead of the World Cup so that they could get preparation. And it really like stories like this is actually makes what makes sports beautiful. Yeah, matlab, we all talk about the big boys, we all talk about the achievers, but ऐसे टीम्स जो आके मतलब वर्ल्ड स्टेज पे खेलते हैं, sometimes it is not just about winning, it is about cherishing these moments. है मतलब I think Netherlands is going to have a fantastic World Cup. All the 9 matches that they play, I really want them to do well, maybe win a couple of games as well. But it is going to be an amazing ride. But talking about their squad, they are no ऐसे बोल सकते हैं कि they are no newbies in this kind of a tournament. I mean, we all know what they did in the qualifiers. There are some big names who have played really well, and since the past, I think they have been with the team for a while. Logan Van Beek, I think he's one of the top performers there. Max O'Dowd at the top of the order. We all know he loves to give some amazing start. And Buzz the lead, I think this guy, I think he has been doing really well in the last few years or so for Netherlands, and he's going to be another asset. Maybe if when the pitches are fresh. So batting wise, I think Netherlands is going to have a wonderful time. And bowling wise, I still worry. मतलब experience वहाँ पे थोड़ा factor आएगा, but you don't really want to be too critical about a team like Netherlands. You just want to cherish the good moments of them. But apart from that, I think they really look like a good side. Hopefully, we'll be able to win a couple of games, maybe with the squad. Because with their bat, I think they do have capabilities of doing that. But it is just about delivering a perfect balance of batting and bowling.
Yes, absolutely. And before we discuss more on the squad, I would say that we always talk about the heroes, but the people who steal the limelight are the sidekicks. If you remember Lage Raho Munna Bhai movie, I mean, Circuit stole the show. In Sanju again, I mean, the repercussor of it. I mean, Vicky Kaushal stole the show for me. I mean, Ranbir Kapoor did well. I'm not a big supporter of Bollywood movies, but yes, the reference is there. I mean, the reference is that the sidekicks somehow they try to do their best and somehow just goes on to overshine the main character. And Netherlands might be one of the team that would go on to do well in this tournament. And if they win a couple of matches, a couple of upsets here and there, you never know who they will inspire back in their country. I mean, a young boy, 11, 12 years old boy in the Netherlands, if they're watching this match and if they see that Netherlands as a side have beaten a side which is higher ranked than them, I mean, who knows? Like it inspired me to get into the sports industry after seeing that 2003 World Cup. Uh, I mean, you never know where the match could take up a young kid or a young boy who will see this match, watch this match of Netherlands. And coming back to the squads, yes, absolutely. This 15 players are a good squad. They have their best they could have produced on for the World Cups. Though precursor to the World Cup, as they said, as you said, that they begged the other teams that please play with us the bilateral series. But I mean, to be very honest, I don't see them doing really well in this tournament as a side, just because their preparation, as I said, they are not a full-fledged 11 cricket players. They are professionals who come in to play cricket. Some of them are doctors, some of them are lawyers, some of them does a different job in their daily life, and that is why the precursor to this World Cup, when they played against Karnataka, a three-match series, they lost vehemently. I mean, losing by 200 odd runs. That is against a Karnataka side. I mean, not demeaning Karnataka side, but they are a national side and they are an international side. So I would say I'm not seeing them do very well in these conditions. If it was maybe in Australia, in England, in New Zealand, I might have said that their bowlers stand a chance to do well in those conditions. But in my personal opinion, I don't see them going past any side. I mean, if they do, it will be a great story for ages to come, like they did against England. But right now, I don't see them doing that. But yes, I will discuss the squads more. But we have a lot of comments and we have regulars over here. Uh, Cynthia Kondapalli agrees with you, Sanchit, on the point of Netherlands being the underdogs. They can be in this World Cup. Yusuf Barwez Bhai says Netherlands have warm up match. First match happened with Pakistan in 2023 World Cup match. Uh,
They are playing the
they,
first against Pakistan, the
yes,
main
they are.
stages.
Yes, they are, and yes, they are. One more thing, Yusuf Bhai said that New Zealand team will tomorrow afternoon match England to win. Hope other match also. One interesting thing over here is that Kane Williamson is not the captain, Yusuf Bhai,
Yeah.
for the first match. Tom Latham is who will be captaining New Zealand for a couple of matches, and post that maybe Kane Williamson will come back. Now going on to the squad, Sands has a very interesting comment over here. Netherlands have a more than decent bowling attack. Remember, they restricted India to 160 in Sydney in last year 2022 T20 World Cup. Also, Van der Merwe will be effective on in this Indian conditions. As I said, if they were playing in Australia, in England, I would have given them a chance to do well with their bowling lineup. But I don't see them doing really well in Indian conditions. Sanchit, your thoughts on this?
Definitely, yes. I mean, you don't really expect a team like Netherlands to do well in a World Cup. It is just about creating vibe and enjoying the moment. I mean, it is such a cliche in cricket where you should enjoy the moment, and that is what I think Netherlands will be hoping to do. And even the fans of Netherlands cricket and even the Netherlands, the entire country will be hoping for them to have a memorable World Cup. And talking about the squad, yes, I completely agree with Sands that they do have a capable bowling attack and they have done well in the shorter format. But this is just about the ODI format being such a harsh game on unexperienced team, where even if you have a good phase of 5 to 10 overs, you can still lose it. I mean, that is the cruel nature of longer format. So in T20s, yes, upsets may happen because of a 5 to 10 over shift, and Netherlands have done that in the past. But ODIs may upset
Yes.
find out करना it is very difficult. Very rare occasion पे ऐसे होगा. But you really want to see Netherlands doing well. But talking about the squad, there is one interest. There are two interesting stories I would like to share, especially about the name that is there on the second row, Vikram Singh. So before I want to talk more about him, people should actually read about Vikram Singh because he's just a 20-year-old top order batter from Netherlands, and he has his roots in India. So I was just reading an article before coming on the show where not deep into it, but it's mentioned that his family moved to Netherlands when he was just 5 years old, and who could have imagined? Yeah, matlab you have a 20-year-old Indian born kid playing for Netherlands in India for a World Cup. 20-year-old kid. I mean, it is just a perfect start for his career. Whereas you have a 38-year-old returning Netherlands cricket veteran in Van der Merwe, who has been with Netherlands for the past decade, playing his first ever World Cup. So that is the
Yeah.
contrast: playing his first ever World Cup at 38 and playing his first ever World Cup at 20. So it is like a perfect blend of experience and youth in this particular Netherlands side. So a great cricketing story or a tale to tell. So it is going to be a very, very memorable one. But competitive wise, I think they are going to face a lot of issues, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. And who knew that we'll start the stream and talk 15 minutes about Netherlands in a 1 hour show. I mean, this is what cricket does to us, man. This is what stories does to do to us. I mean, stories like this inspires a lot of generations to come, and the Netherlands are such one side. And talking about the squad again, I mean, we'll judge the squad on three bases again. First is how is their playing 11. Second is do they have backups, and the third is how do we rate overall on 10 points. For starters, playing 11, I mean, they looked a well settled side. I mean, but irrespective of their recent form, I believe they have the right baggage to punch it out because in the qualifiers of the World Cup, they did punch through West Indies and the other big sides to get into the World Cup mainframe. So, I mean, a good story to tell, but on playing 11, how do you rate them, Sanchit?
Well, it's a very difficult one about Netherlands. I mean, obviously, you can't be too harsh, expecting too much out of them. But playing level wise, I think to their strength, I think they picked up a good squad. They knew that they needed someone experienced in their squad, especially in this particular format. So that is why they brought in the 38-year-old veteran. So they have a perfect blend of experience and youth in the side. I'm not really too sure about their squad depth because obviously you will be requiring squad depth in such a long tournament. So this is the first time for them also playing in such a hot and humid condition kind of a country, and it is going to take a toll on these kind of players. So Asians के लिए उतना problem नहीं आएगा, but as non-Asian teams might be facing a lot of issues. And it is not just about Netherlands. I mean, you even talk about Australia, England for that matter. जो लोग पहली बार या in on their first two few tours to India, they are going to face a massive issues, especially adjusting to the climate over here. So I'm expecting Netherlands also to face a little bit of issues like that. I remember some stories in the warm up match where players actually felt the heat playing those matches. So it is going to be something similar in the group stage also. So backup wise, I'm not really too sure about them. Batting wise, I think they do have some good quality top order batters who can give them some good starts. Bowling also, I think it looks pretty good. I think with the new ball they have some amazing bowlers. I think Bas Lead, whose father actually played in 2003 World Cup. I read one comment from my brother. This gave us a scare in 2003. I think Tim DeLead was his name. So it is so fitting that now his son is going to play the 2023 World Cup 20 years later. So India versus Netherlands in Bangalore is going to be very memorable for him and his father. So new bowling attack, they do have it. I'm not really too sure about the spin bowling attack. So if I have to rate them on a scale of 10, don't want to be too harsh, but just because of the competitive nature, I'll give it 4 maybe. So I think it's fair enough because of their batting and bowling. I gave I think Afghanistan 5, so it only makes sense to give Netherlands 4 out of 10.
Yes, absolutely. And I remember, I mean, Saurabh Bhai saying that he says that his father gave us a scare, and I mean, I was what 8 years old, somewhere around that mark, and I remember that in 2003 World Cup, not just Netherlands, I believe we scraped through. I mean, through the matches that we weren't supposed to. I mean, couple of matches we were fighting really hard to get through the quarterfinals, but sorry, semi-finals during that time. But Netherlands was one such side. I mean, who gave us literally scare. Team the lead. Yes, mentioned him right. So this is a journey. I guess this is the fifth or sixth father son combo playing in the World Cup. After a long time maybe we are seeing, but yes, 4 out of 10. I will go with the same line, 4 out of 10, especially in Indian conditions. If it was in any other continent, I would have said that maybe 5 or 6, but in India, I mean, I don't see them competing that highly with with their bowling attack, with their batting powers, especially in ODI format. T20, yes, of course, but in ODIs, I don't see them giving a lot of scares. Yes, before moving ahead with the next squad, we'll take a few comments. Netherlands restricted Australia to 166 for 7 in 23 overs, so there are no walkovers. Absolutely, there are no walkovers for sure, but the thing is, it's World Cup. And doing that in World Cup against these sides in India, in Indian conditions would be difficult. Bete se badla lenge. Yes, we'll mold them over. That is what Saurabh Bhai wants to say.
Hopefully, for India's sake, we don't want to make that India Netherlands match as a important match for Team India because it is as the last match
Yes,
of the group
yes,
stage.
yes,
It
yes.
hopefully that it is a dead rubber.
Yes, hopefully that is a death rubber, and India just walks through. I mean, the 8 matches prior to that, and the ninth match is not a World Cup kind of a match. It is just maybe a walkover for us. Let's see how it goes. But next is the next team. Let's go to next team. It is New Zealand.
Hmm.
The first name is an interesting name over there. Before that, before we discuss the squad again, a base to is New Zealand. I mean, you never count them out. I say every time in every World Cup since I have seen in from 2003, I haven't seen anyone saying that New Zealand are the favorites or New Zealand are the dark horses. We always tend on to say that either Pakistan is the dark horse or South Africa is the dark horse. Never New Zealand. Though somehow they scrape through and go into reach the finals or the semi-finals of the tournament and either win it or just lose by a margin, barest of margin. And who will forget the greatest World Cup finals of all time in 2019? I mean, that was a heartbreak for sure. Maybe Kane Williamson smiled, but even an Indian fan like me, I mean, I didn't dare to smile that day. At least, I mean, to be honest, I mean, that was historic. But Kane Williamson's inclusion in the squad. I mean, Sanchit, I would like to talk to you about this one specifically. Kane Williamson. I mean, he might not play first 3 4 matches if I'm not wrong. So is his inclusion a huge risk for New Zealand side because not having a proper batter in your 15. Plus, you don't know that whether he will recover in time or not for the World Cups. Thirdly, if he comes, will he be in the form of his life that he was before the injury? A lot of questions. Do you want a player like that in your squad, or do you want a fully prepared, fully a fully fit player in the squad to play the World Cup?
Exactly. And about Kane Williamson, Ronak, it is a very strange case because when he got injured in the IPL, just first match of the IPL, we feared the worst. And when we saw those pictures of him at the airport in those crutches, तभी तो मतलब reports आ रहे थे कि he'll obviously 99% तो chance था ही मतलब he's going to miss out the entire World Cup because no way you are going to recover within a span of 5 months from that kind of an injury. So तभी मतलब New Zealand was slightly preparing mentally about potentially playing a World Cup without their captain, without their legend, I would say, modern day legend Kane Williamson. So mentally prepare ho rahe the, but just because of the fear about not having an experienced figure in your side, they had to make this call, and it is unfair on Kane Williamson if he doesn't do well or doesn't play much in this tournament. It is unfair to criticize Kane Williamson because I think it is like a forced move for him to play this World Cup, and I think it is going to be very important for New Zealand management to manage Kane Williamson well. So I think he played the warm up against Pakistan, did really well, scored 50 odd runs, and got a good warm up, but still he declared himself that he's not going to play the first match against England tomorrow. So the plan is clear that you need to conserve fitness and you need to properly implement Kane Williamson back into the side because it is a long tournament. You don't want to lose out your best player, best batter, your veteran in the early stages of the tournament. So I think I agree with you, Ronak. I think they will slowly ease Kane Williamson back into the team. And when the pitches start getting a little bit slower and situation demands you to win those crucial crunch matches, that is when Kane Williamson will come into the side. So I don't see him playing a lot of matches in the start. Maybe towards the far end stages of the tournament, maybe you'll see Kane Williamson. Maybe against India, you will see. I think he's going to play those big matches, but not regularly. I think New Zealand will need to find another inspiration at the top. So Tom Latham, who is going to captain on the absence of Kane Williamson, he's going to play a crucial role. He has been having a good run in this particular format for them, and great player of spin. After Ross Taylor's retirement, I think he needs to step up and play that kind of a role for New Zealand, especially in this format. I remember watching one ODI in Wankhede 2017 where Ross Taylor and Tom Latham had a wonderful partnership to just ease their way through the run chase and win the game for New Zealand comfortably. And it was a spinning track, mind you. So they do have some quality batters, but it's just about experience. Yeah, matlab, you can't afford to miss Kane Williamson too much in this particular tournament. So and also you really can't afford to lose Kane Williamson through overplaying him at the start. So it is going to be a bit of a dilemma for them whether to just straight away put Kane Williamson for all the matches or just to ease him in, even if the results are not going their way. But they would still need to be patient about this. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yes, absolutely. You mentioned a very good point that even if they lose a couple of matches in the start, they should be very patient about how they bring Kane Williamson in the mix because he is not just one player. that you are risking. He might be the most crucial person when it comes to the semifinals and the finals if they go on to reach there. I mean, and you want your best player, the player who can soak all the pressure and who has the experience of playing those semifinals and the finals in the squad, and prepared and ready. And he is not again injury scare. So I would say that yes, Kane Williamson should play, but play after fourth or fifth match or the sixth match if they require him to play, not just force him because you need him. So that is how they should treat this. And apart from Kane Williamson, also New Zealand have very good, very decent side. I mean, I would
True.
say because in the warm ups also they chased on what 300 odd runs. I mean, after losing a
315,
couple of wickets.
43 overs, I think. That is a
Yeah,
great chase.
340 something. I mean, also losing couple of wickets at the very start of the match. We thought that they won't be able to chase it, but they had the paras, they had the caliber to chase it down. So not counting out New Zealand at all. I mean, count New Zealand out at your own peril. I mean, they have punched over surprises that now it is not a surprise even. I mean, if they go on to beat England the first match, it won't be a surprise anymore. So yes, that is what New Zealand is about. Their playing 11 for sure is a very good playing 11 with the Trent Bolt returning to full flow. The way we saw his bowling, I mean, again tomorrow first ball if he bowls and gets an in swinger onto uh, who will be the opener, David Malan or whoever is opening for England. I mean, right now I'm not sure who will open for England because they are playing with a different side in every match leading to the World Cup. So not sure who will open for them to be honest, but whoever opens that first in swinger and he gets them wrapped to the pads, that is what Trent Bolt might do. And apart from him, there are a lot of good bowlers over there. Lockie Ferguson is there, Matt Henry is there. Uh, Jimmy Nisham can bowl a couple of overs. Glenn Phillips can bowl those spinners, which is required in these Indian conditions. Rachin Ravindra again bowls decent off spinners, if I'm not wrong. Off spinners or leg spinners, I'm not too sure, but he bowls really well. And then the spinners who does really well in Indian conditions, Mitchell Sandner is Shodhi. Mitchell Sandner have a very good experience of playing in Indian conditions with Chennai Super Kings. I mean, though he hasn't played a lot of IPL games, but still he knows the conditions well to how to go about the surface. One is that, and is Shodhi. As you talked about Vikram Singh for Netherlands is Shodhi. I mean, his roots are from India, if I'm not wrong as well. So I mean, he playing for New Zealand against India would be a cracker to watch. But is Sodhi, mind you, is the most dangerous bowler in the side. I mean, if I have to pick one bowler who can be the most lethal, most dangerous bowling under the sun on a torn pitch, I would say is Sodhi. Sodhi is my guy. So yes, they have a very good bowling attack. Their batting always punches above the weight, and they bat till number 9. When I mean Mitch Sander would come. Ideally, Mitch Sander would come at number 8 or number 9. So they bat ideally at till number 8, number 9. They have 6, 7, 8 players who can bowl. So a very good, very well balanced side that New Zealand is having. So I mean, what is your take on their ratings? Before we take the ratings, we will take few comments. I mean, also you guys जो comments में देख रहे हैं फिलहाल, sorry live देख रहे हैं फिलहाल, comments में बताइए आप कितना रेट देते हैं न्यूजीलैंड को out of 10 based on their playing 11 and the backups that they have. Let's take a few comment. Uh, Sands Bhai wants Rachin Ravindra to
Open.
open the innings. Sachin versus I mean I always gets confused. I always get confused that Rachin Ravindra thing. Yes, Rachin Ravindra with the name. New Zealand is a well settled squad in every World Cup edition, right from '92 to 2023. Hope they go far this edition and hope they get the cup. One New Zealand supporter spotted over here. I mean, let's see how it goes with New Zealand. We wish them well tomorrow. Let's hope that they win the match tomorrow. Let's not hope, but if they play well, they play good, better than England, they should win. Mitchell should open with Conway. Yes, so that is a very good. Daryl Mitchell is a very good option. I mean, he opens really well, so that should be a likely scenario over there that he might open. Let's see who gets the nod ahead. Kane Williamson, he is injured in IPL match, but he's strong player and will return from injury. Kane Williamson, yes, for sure, he will return from injury, but he is not fully fit yet. Might require a week or two to get fully fit and play in the World Cup. Best wishes and speedy recovery. Yes, from us as well to Kane Williamson. Saurav Dara is saying that I hate to see Kane Williamson smile. He is the greatest super villain story of Indian cricket.
True, yeah.
दिल की बात जो है ना जुबान पे लाते हैं, कह नहीं सकते बट जुबान पे लाते हैं, वो वाली बात कह दी है यहाँ पे, जुबान पे लाए नहीं हम बात को. बट this is not Ronak Kedia, the analyst, or Ronak Kedia, the unbiased person over it. I am very biased right now saying this sentence. I hate you, Ken Williamson. I hate your smile. I don't want to. You are not the gentleman for me, at least. You are the greatest villain of all times. You have given us not once, not twice, multiple times, multiple wounds. I hate you to the core of my heart with all my veins, all my blood that I have in my body. I hate you to the bottom of every pinch. This is what an Indian fan in me would say to Kane Williamson. If you are watching or if you get to watch this live stream someday, you can vouch on me. I hate you to core of my heart.
Perfectly summed up, Ronak, yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
talking about the New Zealand squad, yeah, I mean, yes, definitely there are lots of amazing players. We talked highly about Kane Williamson. We talked highly about Trent Bolt, the another nemesis of Indian cricket, especially the top order batter. तो हम लोग को हमेशा वो 5 for 3 याद आ जाता है जब भी वर्ल्ड कप के बारे में बात करते हैं. But beyond these big names, I think there are other players who really work in silence, but their contribution is immense also. And the likes of Lockie Ferguson, who had a wonderful spell in the final of 2019 World Cup. I think he took 3 wickets there. We all talk about Ben Stokes and we all talk about Josh Butler's partnership, but very few actually commend the effort Lockie Ferguson put up in that final as well. Where Trent Bolt, who couldn't take a wicket, I guess he went for 80 of 10 overs. Lockie actually did pretty well bowling in that low scoring final. So he's going to be another asset for them. And Matt Henry, yeah, I mean सेमीफाइनल ऑफ 2019 वर्ल्ड कप वी ऑल थिंक बैक हमें बस वो धोनी का रनआउट याद आता है और 5 for 3 याद आता है but people fail to remember what damage did Matt Henry did for us in that particular semi-final. I think it took 3 wicket or 4 wicket in that match as well. So these kind of players actually go very unnoticed apart from the spinners, of course. I mean, इस सौदी के बारे में रौनक भाई ने काफी अच्छी बात कही, एक्सपीरियंस भी है. He has also a good record against India for that matter. And Mitchell Santner, these two spinners are going to definitely win them a lot of matches. But just about that Kane Williamson fact, the thing that we mentioned, key they need to really monitor his fitness and when they play him. Because if you look at the fixtures, Ronak, the reason why Kane Williamson is not really looking to play from the start is because of the fixture congestion that they have it towards the end. So their last 5 matches, India, Australia, South Africa, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. These are the last 5 matches for New Zealand, and you can easily even think of a possible scenario where they could lose all 5 because all these 5 teams in Asian conditions are very, very lethal. And that is when they need the experience of Kane Williamson to come through. So it is okay even if they don't have Kane Williamson for the first 4 matches. It is fine because they play England tomorrow, they play Netherlands, and they play Bangladesh and Afghanistan. Without Kane Williamson, also, maybe not against England, but without Kane Williamson, they could at least manage to win 3 out of 4 matches at least. But you
absolutely.
need Kane Williamson in the last 5 matches and at his best, at his 100%. So if I
Yeah.
was a New Zealand fan, I would be fine Kane Williamson sitting till 22nd of October because I want him to be 100% fit and fine for the last 5 matches. Because I really see something bad happening for New Zealand if Kane is not fully fit and is maybe overplayed before that because you really need experience. You really need your big players to play all those 5 matches, and that is going to be the make or break situation for New Zealand.
Yeah, very good point over there by Sanchit that they don't play the big boys in the first 4 games apart from England, and that might help Ken Williamson to recover fully, come to full fitness, and then join the squad when they play the game against. I mean, if I'm not wrong, India. India is the first big side that they play.
After England,
If
yes.
yeah, after England. So that is the big side that they are playing. So against India, we might see Kane Williamson again. I would not repeat what Kane Williamson means to me. But anyways, going ahead with this. But before giving the ratings, let's take a few comments over here. Is Sodhi is a good New Zealand spin bowler also. Yes, he is very good. Not just a good, very good. He's the best out there. Best top five, if I would say, in the top five for sure is spinners. Saurabh Dada is saying that New Zealand 8 out of 10. Yes, they are the second best team who will play really well in the middle overs thanks to Santner. Yes, of course, they are one of the better sides. Now, I wouldn't say in the dark horses, they are one of the better sides in this tournament. Will baseball work in Indian conditions? I mean, we'll find out in maybe 20 hours, 25 hours, or say 24 hours. We'll find that out. Will it work or not? Let's let that happen in tomorrow's match. New Zealand rating will be 8 out of 10. Bolo Zuba Kesri. I mean, किसके लिए था पता नहीं, but anyways, yes, Bolo Zuba Kesri. Welcome to the stream. First of all, Kane Williamson on the way to report. Uh, I don't mind if we win the World Cup. I literally
Yeah.
don't mind. I don't give a damn if we win the World Cup and then Kane Williamson smiles again. I mean, I would like to see that smile after India wins the World Cup against New Zealand in the finals. If that happens, I would be the most happiest person if he reports also. Sunny Nagpal, isn't the buzz missing this time? Very disappointed that there was no opening ceremony. Uh, the opening ceremony, why was it cancelled? I have no idea still, but the buzz is not there, not because of the opening ceremony. It is not because India is not playing for the first 3 days. I believe that is the major reason. If India would have played on the first day of the World Cup as a host nation, I would defer to think that there would have been a lot of buzz around it. More of For India, the World Cup will start on 7th or 8th of October, to be precise. 8th of October to be precise. For India, World Cup starts then, not today or tomorrow. So the hype will be there. Just wait for it. It might come in a couple of days. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the ratings now. For me, New Zealand are definitely a 7.57 kind of team. For you, Sanchit?
Yeah, even I agree. I think the point that my brother mentioned in the comments, them being a good middle over side, I completely agree to that. But somewhere I still feel that Kane Williamson not being 100% fit, especially in this kind of a tournament. If let's say they lose against England tomorrow, and maybe a potential upset against Bangladesh, and mind you, they can do that. Bangladesh in this condition are a very deadly side. Two losses in a row, and suddenly you panic. यार मतलब Kane Williamson नहीं खेल रहा है, should we play him in the next? फिर वो पैनिक अगर हो जाता है and that is when they might mess up. So how they manage Kane Williamson, well, I'm still a little bit pessimistic about that. Overall, the squad has good balance, good number of spinners who can do lot of damage. Pacers भी है अच्छे से. Top order is also settled. But just because of that one factor of them not potentially messing up the Kane Williamson factor, I'll go and deduct -5 points from what I originally wanted to give them, 8 out of 10. I'll go with 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely agreed with you over there. A lot of people, I mean, Saurabh Bhai gave 8, Yusuf Bhai is giving 8 to New Zealand. Yes, they deserve all that, but just cutting that point 0.5 due to that Kane Williamson factor that might come on to play or come on to haunt them in the later half. This comment is no buzz near to stadium. Also, literally disappointed with no opening ceremony this time. Was there an opening ceremony in 2015 or 19?
15,
I'm
I'm
not
not
too.
really sure. 19 mein tha, like not an opening ceremony, but on the streets of London, you saw a parade and a celebration where all the captains were involved, and तो वो सब तो था, मतलब वो तो है. But this year, I think it's very strange because obviously you can't really expect communication from BCCI. वो तो कभी बताएंगे नहीं. मतलब player injured होने के 3 दिन बाद हमें पता चलता है कि ये player injured है. They don't even bother to communicate on this. But yeah, I mean it's a World Cup, yeah. At least the basic necessity is to have it start on a grand way, especially when India is not playing. How would you want to keep the fans entertained at least till Sunday? Is through these kind of moments. So, आज का जो captain's corner था show, it was below par according to me. So I didn't think that created the buzz for World Cup. I agree with what the comment is saying, but on the other hand, as a cricket fan, I want the World Cup buzz to start on what happens on the pitch rather than off the field. It is okay if I don't see
Yeah.
Shah Rukh Khan dancing on Jawan tunes. It is okay if I don't see Kriti Sanon or Deepika Padukone dancing. It is okay if I don't see Arjit Singh singing. But I would love to see a good battle between bat and ball and maybe a repeat of England versus New Zealand 2019 final to be the actual opening ceremony of this World Cup. So if that happens on the pitch, it is as good as a win for me.
Yes, absolutely, and that is a very good way to sum the squad up of New Zealand and the hype around the World Cup game because they play tomorrow against England, a very dangerous side, of course. And let's move on to the next side now, because I can't keep New Zealand a long for longer duration in front of my eyes. They haunt me again and again. Let's move on to Pakistan. I mean, this is interesting because if
We
you
can
would
spend
have
an hour
asked
talking
me,
about this.
same here, but if you would have asked me maybe 2 months prior to the World Cup, before the Asia Cup, I would have said that they are top two or top three for sure. But right now, are they? I mean, I have a little bit of doubts in my mind, because couple of things over here before we start discussing the squad. I mean, they are overtly dependent upon two things: Babar Azam and Rizwan's batting, Shaheen and Haris Rauf's bowling. What if either of them or one of them flops?
Absolutely. I mean, that is a big worry. And Pakistan is one of those teams, मतलब ऐसे कह सकते हैं कि too much of cricket, usually too much of cricket before a big tournament helps the team because to prepare mentally and physically for that World Cup. But for Pakistan, too much of cricket has actually dented their chances in this World Cup. Look at the
Yep.
case of Naseem Shah. I mean, he was playing in the Lanka Premier League. उसके पहले he was playing for Pakistan in one of the tournaments. PSL भी खेला. And then you had the Asia Cup within a gap of 1 month. There is no rest, especially for a fast bowler. There is no rest. And even beach mein, just after the Lanka Premier League or just before it, they played a two series against Netherlands, and they went on with the
Yeah.
full strength squad. Babar Azam was captaining. You had Shaheen Afridi, you had Naseem Shah. Full strength squad against Netherlands, so close to the World Cup. And few of the journalists of Pakistan, I think I saw them on Twitter, actually predicting ki good luck in the World Cup campaign because obviously you are going to have one or two injuries of the fast bowlers because of the way that you're overplaying. And exactly that happened. Asia Cup 1 month before the big tournament, you have your premium pacer in Naseem Shah getting injured. Shaheen Afridi is not fully fit, is looking quite rusty. Haris Rauf, who was actually a doubt for the World Cup, and now is forced to play in the opening stages of the World. He's not fully fit, mind you. I think people should know this. Haris Rauf is not fully fit, but just because Naseem Shah is already ruled out, they cannot afford to lose out another premium pacer. They still need to somehow carry Haris Rauf throughout the tournament. So I don't see Haris Rauf playing all the 9 matches in the group stages at
Yep.
least. So that is a big worry for Pakistan. They created this mess on their own behalf. And talking about the obvious issues, you mentioned it clearly. The top order, they have good players. Babar Azam is there. But uske baad kya? That is the thing. There is a big void. Mohammad Rizwan is not putting up consistent numbers. He did score a good knock against Sri Lanka in the Asia Cup. But apart from that, consistently is not doing really well. So and you have Mohammad Nawaz also is there, but he's such a good batter down the order. But you still can't play him ahead of someone like an Aga Salman just because he's not a good quality spin bowling option. Look at the spin bowling option, Ronak. Shadab Khan
Yeah.
के partner कौन हो गए? They don't have quality spin bowling option, and that is the reason why they cannot control the middle overs. If Shine Afridi
Yes.
doesn't deliver you 2 or 3 wickets in the power play, then they are finished. They don't know how to come back or bounce back from this. The only saving grace for them was Naseem Shah, who actually managed to control, even against the match against India, where he scored 350 odd runs. Shine Afridi went for runs, Haris Rauf went for runs, but Naseem actually bowled those perfect line and length to contain our batters.
What about
He bowled a
Mohammad
good spell.
Nawaz?
एग्जैक्टली मोहम्मद नमाज का वही बात है यार मतलब कि just because of the squad combination you really can't play him too much in this particular playing 11, so they are facing a lot of issues because of injuries and also too much cricket in the past, so they actually dug a grave for themselves, I would say, ahead of the World Cup.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, a lot of questions around their squad right now. I mean, जिस तरह से उनकी स्क्वाड बिल्डअप हो रही थी प्रीकर्सर टू द वर्ल्ड कप फॉर अराउंड मे बी से 2 or 3 months बिफोर द वर्ल्ड कप, इट लुक लाइक दैट पाकिस्तान डिसाइड टू बीट, और उन्होंने रैंकिंग्स भी हासिल की, मतलब नंबर 1 इन द वर्ल्ड बैटिंग वाइज। टॉप 5 में 2 प्लेयर्स थे उनके, उसके बाद बॉलिंग वाइज आई मीन दे हैड 3 or 4 बॉलर्स इन द टॉप 10। बहुत कुछ अच्छा चल रहा था। सडनली आई मीन दिस कमेंट इज apt to their preparation. Park is like that Asian kid who got burdened by multiple tuitions and classes only to fall sick and stress before out the exams. I mean,
You
this
should
is what
tweet it, sir.
happened. Yes, you should tweet it. I'll retweet it for sure. And anyways, let's move on to the few comments post that a lot of comments have come in. Sunny Nagpal is saying, thanks a lot for answering my question. We'll follow you all during the World Cup. Thank you so much, Sunny Nagpal bhai. And we'll answer all the comments for sure. जो भी comments आपके आएंगे, will answer all those. So please do keep us supporting. और ये अच्छा टाइम है ट्यून इन देने का. जो लोग देख रहे हैं फटाफट सब्सक्राइब और लाइक कर दीजिए, और जो लोग बाद में देखने वाले हैं लाइक और सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिएगा. कमेंट्स करना भी मत भूलिएगा. अ गुड टाइम टू ट्यून इन. अब आगे चलते हैं. यहाँ पे वर्णता कह रही है दैट जिंक्स मत करो. आई मीन अगर हमारे साथ स्ट्रीम पे संजिक्स देसाई बैठे हुए हैं and we don't jinx something, how is that I mean legal? Varnata, question directly to you. If Sanchit Desai is on the stream, how do you expect us not to jinx a thing or two?
क्या
Moving
बोले यार
forward. Sunny Nagpal, this is for Subodh, who was in the comments. It is strange that even in Ahmedabad, there is a lack of interest in spite of the city getting the best matches of this World Cup.
True.
I mean, it is not about the best matches. It is about I mean, if the first game was India playing, I would have definitely said that बहुत hype है, बहुत buzz है. But just because पहले 3 दिन, not just first day, second day भी नहीं है, third day भी नहीं है, fourth day को we are starting the World Cup, and that puts on a huge dent to the World Cup build-up.
True.
Couple of comments and then we'll give the we'll delve into the squad and give the ratings. Perfectly said, dependence only on 3-4 players. Yes, absolutely. 4 player मुझे गिन के उनके लगते हैं. बाबर आजम, मोहम्मद रिजवान, हसन साइंस आफरीदी एंड हारिस रॉफ. These are the 4 players who they are dependent upon. बाकी लोग कभी कभार एक आध मैच अच्छा खेल देंगे, like फकर जमान, इमामुल हक, even साउद शकील, इफ्तिकार अहमद, सलमान अली आघा, whoever there is, Hassan Ali, Mohammad Wasim Jr., all these players around them might do well if these 4 players do well. If they don't do well, will they be able to do good again? I mean, that is a question. I'm not too sure about that part. So yes, they are dependent heavily on 3-4 players. Varnata Singh, 14 को अगर हारे तो तुम दोनों के घर बाहर दंगा होगा. मतलब okay,
No comments.
no comments. Hashtag no comments. Well, Rohit, today wear the tricolor stripe jersey. Now I will order. शायद मिल नहीं रही है, वो available नहीं है for purchase.
It's
If
not
it is
for sale
available,
for fans, I think.
if it is available, I mean, I'm not too sure, but I don't see that anywhere in the market. So you won't get that. That is a limited edition just made for the cricketers doing the build up for the World Cup. I'm not too sure about it. एक बार चेक कर
कोलाबा
लीजिएगा.
कॉर्नर पे मिल जाएगा.
हाँ, अगर अमेजन पे मिल सकता है, आप अमेजन पे सर्च कर लीजिएगा, 1 महीने बाद मिल जाएगा. सौरभ भाई बोल रहे हैं, संचित hasn't spoken so much at family function as much as he did here about Pakistan. That is not Sanchit. That is not just Sanchit Dada. That is every Indian household boy over there. They don't speak much at family functions. They speak more about cricket and football or whatever the sport they like. So this is not just Sanchit. This is all of us. Maybe not our generation. I would not say your generation, not our generation, but post that, I don't see anyone speaking that much about that. संचित, तू जो तू बोलता है सब उल्टा होता है, इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि हाउ डेयर यू से दैट संचित स्ट्रीम पे होगा और जिंक्स नहीं होगा.
That means Netherlands are going to win the World Cup.
वाओ. सुबोध अग्रवाल कह रहे सनी भाई, ऑल आर एक्साइटेड फॉर इंडिया वर्सेस पाक मैच ओनली, बट आज कुछ इवेंट होता तो थोड़ा फर्क पड़ता. ऑफ कोर्स, अगर थोड़ा कुछ हाइप क्रिएट होता, थोड़ा ओपनिंग सेरेमनी होती, तो शायद यू वुड हैव सीन I mean, better things.
Also, the World Cup starting on a weekday doesn't help.
Yeah, absolutely. That also, matlab, World Cup starting on a Thursday, if I'm not wrong, Thursday. Yes, Thursday. That is not what I mean. You built up to play India Australia on a weekend. Now that is, if you're planning that from the start, then you knew that World Cup will start on Saturday, not Sunday, not Thursday. So that is how it has been built till now. यूसुफ भाई ने रेटिंग दी यहाँ पाकिस्तान को 9 out of 10.
Interesting.
Thoughts on this, Sanchit?
Well, just on this only, I also give my rating as well. And 9 out of 10 is a very बोल सकते हैं confident score for Pakistan. I mean, I would have given it close to 9 out of 10 if you asked me this two months ago or so. But
Same,
just
same.
because more number of matches actually got them exposed, I'm really not sure about Pakistan. But Pakistan, just like the New Zealand in ICC, when they are known to just create an unpredictable sense of nature in this kind of tournament, and it being a nine match tournament, it helps Pakistan. So they can have a very poor slump in the middle, but they will
Yeah.
still bounce back and finish. Pakistan is always known for finishing well towards the end. They can, like, even the last edition of the World Cup, you saw them losing badly against India, but then they managed to beat England, the host,
First
by
match against West Indies. First match against West
exactly,
Indies.
exactly 100 or something. They got all out. They were
Yeah,
absolutely
105.
bombarded with bouncers. So that match actually knocked Pakistan out. They missed out on top four because of NRR, and that is the thing with Pakistan. They start off on a very poor note. I wouldn't be surprised if they start off by losing to Netherlands, but still managing to make top four, because that is the typical Pakistan, the stereotypical Pakistan. The start एकदम मतलब unpredictable कर लो, just like losing to Zimbabwe and then making the World Cup final against England, just like last year.
And then
तो
losing.
वैसे हाँ तो मतलब वैसे ही है पाकिस्तान टीम. So I wouldn't say that they are going to have a horrible World Cup, because they do have a good squad, even though they are missing Naseem Shah. They do have a good spinner in Usama Mir, just like the comment mentioned by Cricket Crazy Bong. So they do have good spinners, but it's just about stepping in the right moment. So the fixtures that they play helps their cause, because they are playing all the big boys apart from India, of course. I don't think Ahmedabad is going to suit their kind of play. But apart from that, Kolkata against England, where they enjoy playing Kolkata. New Zealand in Bangalore, if it spins like a traditional Bangalore wicket in ODI format, they're going to do well. Bangladesh in Kolkata, Chennai against South Africa, where their spinners can really do well, and Bangalore against Australia. So they are going to play 5 out of 6 big boys in favorable conditions, and this might
Yeah.
actually help Pakistan punch above their weight. So that is the reason I'm going to give them 8 out of 10, just because they are known to be a very unpredictable side. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for them to make it to the top four. But they're going to have a good World Cup.
Yes, absolutely. They always punch above their weights in the World Cup, but this time they were coming as favorites. So let's see how it goes about it. Sanchit has given. Did you give your ratings? I mean, I missed it.
8 out
If
of 10.
you
8 out of 10. Yeah.
8 out of 10. Yeah, so 8 out of 10 from Sanchit, and from my side, I would say, uh, again, just like Sanchit, if you would have asked me this 2 months prior to the World Cup, I would have said 8 out or say 9 out of 10. But right now, I'm reserving one extra point in my kitty, and point 0.5 as well, 7.5 for me, not 8 even. 7.5 for me, just because they lack that team combination at the top. In the middle order, their bowling is pretty much sorted. That they missed the pro spinner. I would say Usama Mir is an option. But will you play Mohammad Nawaz, Usama Mir, and Shadab Khan all at once? I mean,
All at
that
once. I
is
don't think so.
that is not possible. So I mean, now there are two other options in bowling as well, either Hassan Ali or Mohammad Wasim Jr. Who will you play? There are a lot of questions that are to be answered, and Asia Cup could have answered those questions for Pakistan, but instead of answering questions, it has raised a couple of questions. So right now, I would say that they are not in the rightest frame of mind, not the greatest frame of mind. They might struggle a bit in this World Cup. So they might finish at top five as a top five team, top six team, but advancing to the finals, I'm not too very sure. नवरात्रि शुरू उसी दिन यस पाकिस्तान के साथ अगेंस्ट मैच अगर जीत गई इंडिया तो हाइप शुरू हो जाएगा
I think
वापस
ऑस्ट्रेलिया
से
के सामने जीते तो हाइप होना चाहिए. मतलब that is the big game
आई
for
थिंक
us.
आई थिंक सेवेंथ को हाइप शुरू हो जाएगा जस्ट द डे बिफोर इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया आई बिलीव दैट आई फर्मली बिलीव दैट इंडिया का मैच होगा हाइप शुरू हो जाएगा इंडिया का मैच नहीं है पहले दिन दैट हैज किल्ड द हाइप कंप्लीटली
True. Agreed.
Sunny Nagpal, when the last time ICC event was played in October in India, you played a huge role. Will the toss decide this World Cup's winner? I mean, one thing is there that due this time around might not be a very huge factor. That might play a role, but not a very big role, just because इस वर्ल्ड कप से पहले we have seen that the scores are also getting defended. Right now, not a lot of teams can confidently say they are good chasers of the game. India's chasing abilities has gone down. England, though they are a very good destructive side, still they don't chase that well. We saw that against South Africa there in the series that they played. Now Australia are not a good chasing side. Again, they have shown that time and again. So not a lot of good chasing sides in this tournament. Apart from, I would say, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is a good chasing side, though they don't have the arsenal right now. But they have chased up pretty well in recent times. But will they be able to do against the big boys of the world cricket? I'm not too sure about it. So not a lot of good sides chasing, a lot of good chasing sides. So ideally I would think that वर्ल्ड कप में जितने गेम्स होंगे उसमें से 10 से 12% टाइम, आई मीन आउट ऑफ 9 गेम्स एटलीस्ट 7 और 8 टाइम्स टीम्स वुड लाइक टू बैट फर्स्ट, आई मीन जस्ट टू बी। और दूसरी बात, जितने वेन्यूज पे खेल रहे अपन मैच उसमें से 11 या 12 वेन्यूज है, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, 11 वेन्यूज आई गेस। तो उसमें उसमें जो 10 या 8 वेन्यूज हैं उसमें बहुत गर्मी होगी पूरा दिन। मतलब यूसुफ, अगर टीम रेस्टेड नहीं है, टीम पहले बैटिंग नहीं कर रही है, सेकंड बैटिंग के टाइम पे टीम स्ट्रगल करती है बैटिंग करते हुए। वी सॉ दैट इन द थर्ड गेम अगेंस्ट ऑस्ट्रेलिया that Indian team didn't lose because they were playing bad. They lost because they were fielding 50 overs prior to that. The heat caught up to them. So I would say जो 9 मैच खेलने वाली टीमें उसमें बहुत सारी टीमें ऐसी होंगी जो टॉस जीत के बैटिंग करना चाहेंगी just to curb that heat down. So I'm not too worried about the toss being deciding factor in the World Cup.
True, completely agreed.
The 96 World Cup opening match was also in Ahmedabad, and guess what? New Zealand and England clashed against each other just like this time. This is a good, stat over there, theory over there. So let's hope that 96
Lanka
के
winning the
winners,
World Cup.
वही मैं बोलने वाला था, बस वही बोलने वाला था, 96 के वर्ल्ड कप विनर्स वापस रिपीट ना हो जाएं बस। I just praise Sri Lanka right now, and we saw this comment. So
man,
Mino
if
starts, and I
96
think
World Cup repeats, Ronak, Kolkata seems we don't want it to happen in Mumbai for that matter, or in
yeah,
Kolkata if
absolutely.
we face Pakistan.
Um, anyway, Sunny Nagpal, I'm referring to the ICC Champions Trophy in 2006. Yes, we got that. You were referring to that.
Even the World Cup in 1987, when it was held in India, it was played in October and November. So these are the only two ICC events which were played in this kind of a tournament.
Yes. Otherwise, normally ICC events,
February,
ICC World
March.
Cups, February, March, or latest by April, May. Saurabh bhai is saying journalists are asking Babar more about Hyderabadi biryani than playing 11 combinations.
True.
I mean, yes, please.
Yeah, true. That is the thing, yeah. I mean, I thought that today we will, like in the Captain's Corner episode, today we'll see some amazing questions coming in for all the captains that are there. But the questions were absolutely cringeworthy, I would say. Not to be too harsh, but yeah, it was cringeworthy. Babar Azam ko instead of talking about their playing combination, how much they'll miss Naseem Shah, what are their spin options, they're talking about Hyderabadi biryani, how was their welcome at the airport. पैट कमिंस को लिटरली पूछा कि इंडिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान का क्या हाइप है. I mean, you talk about India versus Australia, which is literally going to be played on Sunday, but instead they are talking about India versus Pakistan to the Australian captain, and वो भी मतलब खुशी खुशी आंसर कर रहा है. And I mean, today's captain's conference, it was really below par, especially with the quality of question. So that is not the ideal way of starting off a World Cup.
Absolutely.
But
I mean, I saw the press conference and I felt like it was not a press conference or type of press conference that World Cup needs or deserves. It was more of in the lines of a movie script being written where you want to just create that masala कि भाई आपको बिरयानी खा के कैसा लगा, आपको बिरयानी के मसाले पसंद आए कि नहीं, बिरयानी में इलायची पसंद आई कि नहीं. I mean, those sort of rubbish questions, especially. One more thing I noticed that up India में है, Indian journalist है, and you want to speak with Babar Azam in English, you know that he won't be very fluent with his English in that perspective. You could have, when you can do that for Mohammad Siraj or other players, you can speak in Hindi or interview him in Hindi. Why not with Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan? I mean, just demeaning them because they don't know how to speak in English is just pathetic in Indian journalism part. I'm not supporting Pakistan by any means. I'm not I mean, not in huge favor of what they do, but this is not in the right sense, right lines. Nothing against biryani, but I would say that this was not in the right spirit. लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्कोर. अच्छा ये बता, बाबर को इंग्लिश इतनी क्यों पसंद है? अगर शास्त्री ने हिंदी में पूछा तो I mean that is also other side of it, that they also want to I mean say in English if they are not being too comfortable. They could have spoken to the journalist in Hindi, or say in their language which they prefer, me Punjabi or whatever it is. Let's move on to the next squad because बहुत टाइम हो गया पहले दो ही स्क्वाड कवर करने में. तीन स्क्वाड आए if I'm not wrong. South Africa is the next squad. Now they are the ultimate dark horses of world cricket.
True.
Well, before we discuss, Nasiruddin bhai, thank you so much for tuning in again today. We'll take your comments. पहले थोड़ा डिस्कस कर लेते हैं, उसके बाद बात करेंगे. बाकी जितने लोग कमेंट्स में फटाफट कमेंट्स कीजिए आप लोग अबाउट साउथ अफ्रीका, अबाउट द चांसेस ऑफ साउथ अफ्रीका. हम बात करेंगे उसके बारे में एंड विल discuss more on this context. We discussed about how many squads have we discussed right now? I lost the count. Four, five, six,
Netherlands, Pakistan, New Zealand.
and this is Pakistan. Yeah, this is the fourth
This is
squad.
the
One
fourth
squad is
one.
left.
Yeah,
This is
this
the
is the
fourth
fourth
one.
one.
So two squads left: South Africa
Yeah,
and one more squad
Sri
we are
Lanka.
left
Sri Lanka.
with, Sri Lanka. So yes, so these are the last two squads that we'll discuss. South Africa. Okay, South Africa is the ultimate dark horses in the context of ICC World Cup history. I mean, यार वो मुझे बार बार ना वो एबी डिविलियर्स का वो याद आ जाता है. आई मीन दैट वर्ल्ड कप दैट दे लॉस्ट. आई मीन I don't want to recall. I mean, when I see AB de Villiers' photo, I just want to cry for some reason. I mean, I don't like that face of his when they lost the 2015 World Cup. They were on the verge of winning it, but they lost in the semi-finals, and I can't recall how sad I was for. I mean, South Africa. I mean, it is always about that they have the greatest of sides. I mean, in the last couple of World Cups, barring this 2023 World Cup, I would say for the last 6-7 World Cups that they have been part of from 1987, if I'm not wrong, or 92. I'm not too sure about either of those, but either of 1987 or 1982, they have started playing the World Cup. From then, they have one of the best sides coming to the tournament, but they have not done that well, or they finished in the top two. That is what the story is till now. And Sanchit, before we discuss the squads, what is it that they are not being able to cross that line?
Well, I think you could just take what I'm about to say and give it to what India is doing in the last 10 years. I mean, we all talk about South Africa not making it toward the finish line, and unfortunately, it's the same with our case as well when we reach that semi-final. Mental block, I think, plays a massive role. I mean, it is not just about the 2015 World Cup. I mean, if you look at it beyond that also, before that also, there were many instances where they could have actually done well. 92 World Cup, I don't think South Africa का कुछ fault था. It was complete miscalculation or a very weird rule which knocked them out against England in the semi-final. 99 World Cup, I think that they deserve to be a winners. I think it was South Africa's World Cup. That game, I mean, obviously I wasn't around to watch that, but all the stories my brother narrates me about that particular game. Gary, Lance Klusner के बारे में बात करते हैं, and all that, the semi-final, then the run out which happened towards the end. It is just so unfortunate. If it happens in this modern era again, something similar, there would be chaos, there would be havoc, and the losing team के जो fans they will not be sparing the particular team. So it was complete disaster for them, that 99 World Cup semi-final, and since then they haven't really recovered. That I don't think still now they have recovered from that semi-final loss, because 2003 complete miscalculation of the DLS rule, and they got knocked out against Sri Lanka if I'm not wrong. For 2007, I think it was Australia's World Cup, one-sided कर दिया था पूरा. 2011 they weren't really at
2007
the
World Cup was not a World Cup, it was Australia versus others.
वन साइड है, मतलब फॉर्मेलिटी के लिए बाकी सब लोग खेल रहे थे, मतलब यू नोबडी वाज नियर ऑस्ट्रेलिया, मे बी श्रीलंका टू एन एक्सटेंट इन दैट
Absolutely.
एरा. But 2015, yes, I agree. Matlab, how could you lose that match? I mean, 42 overs, 275 odd runs. You should have defended that. And AB de Villiers, yes, definitely. But even he missed out on those crucial runouts, which actually costed them. And also, catch drop bhi kiya tha, I think, by one of the player at the boundary line in that match also, of Grant Elliott, who finished off well for New
Yeah.
Zealand. So it's been a case of unfortunate for South Africa. But this year, I think if they forget all the heartbreaks that they had in the past, they are the ultimate dark horse, and they are the dark horse for me for that fourth position. I have them as my fourth team to go through in the semi-final over Pakistan because of the way that they have structured their team. 2019, I think, actually came too soon for them because AB de Villiers had a very shock retirement just a year before, and they really couldn't manage to build a team around that. मतलब they didn't really know कि मतलब क्या करे, कैसे टीम बिल्ड करे, 1 year में वर्ल्ड कप है, and that was the downfall for them. Although they did end the tournament well, beating Australia, but they had quite a good number of time to build this particular squad for this World Cup, and they have done a brilliant job. Bavuma, who is known for his, he's getting lots of criticism, but I think he's a good batter, and especially in this condition, he enjoys playing against India, and good player of spin also. So if he can really inspire the batting order at the top, I think he's going to have a wonderful World Cup. Quinton de Kock's last ever World Cup for Australia, for South Africa. I mean, बेबी फेस यार, ऐसे मतलब ऐसे लगता है कि पिछले साल ही ऐसे देखा था उसको making his debut against India, scoring 300s in a row. But now he's playing his last ever ODI World Cup. So they have good number of experience, youth, and quality spinners. Keshav Maharaj, I think, is going to be an X factor for them. He's had a good time in this particular format in the last 2 years or so. I think he's at the one of the top wicket takers in since 2022 in this format, if I'm not wrong. Maybe not at the top, but amongst the top three as well. David Miller, obviously a great threat in the middle order, but Henrik Klassen, yeah, Ronak, purple patch of his life, and he's scoring runs for fun. You look at the Australia series,
Is there a
although different
patch beyond purple patch?
उसके मतलब वो that deserves to be said for Henrik Klassen. मतलब the way he's hitting the ball, यार, he's absolutely scary. I haven't seen such a peak for a non-Asian player, I would say, in a long, long time, and he's a big, big scary player for me. If you have South Africa chasing maybe 350, 360,
I
and
would
in
say
walks
this
Henrik
on
Klassen,
air that he is the best player of spin in the world right now.
yeah, arguably yes, definitely.
Considering all the players, be it Indian, be it Asian, be it anyone, I would say that Henrik Klassen right now is the best player of spin in the world. Maybe one of the all times great. I mean, in top 5 or top 10 for sure.
Definitely, yes. Yeah. Matlab, you remember that ODI series when he actually made his name against India, where he smacked
Yeah.
Kulcha, and that was the first downfall of Kulcha. Matlab, they never got smacked before that. We had a good series there, but Henrik Larsson came out of the picture, smacked Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal for fun in that ODI rain curtail match, and तब से पता चला यार, मतलब this guy is really a one to look out for, and what a perfect way for him to play this World Cup in India. So they are a good
Yeah.
side, although they might be missing out on that late injury happening to their premium fast bowler Hendrik Nokia. It's unfortunate for him, but somewhere I feel pace bowling attack wise, they might be missing out on Nokia's express pace, especially with the new ball. Rabada, I have nothing against him. He's a good bowler, but somewhere I feel recently he's not to what he used to do before for them. थोड़ा सा मतलब
Yeah.
inconsistent हो गया in the last 5 to 6 years, and he needs someone at the other end to actually inspire being that fast bowler. So is it going to be Marco Jansen, the left arm pacer, or is it going to be Lungi Ngidi, who is also another experienced player? But Nokia is a big miss.
Yes, absolutely. Enric Nokia, I mean, in the last two World Cups, 2019 में भी 2023 में भी, just before the World Cup, he got injured and missing out from both the squads. This is very heartbreaking as a fast bowler. आप पूरे साल प्रिपेयर करते हो for the World Cup, and just before the World Cup, you get injured. And I mean, as a fast bowler, you don't know कि आपको कब injury होगी, and that injury would not be a kick off injury. मतलब एक week या दो week में ठीक हो जाए. That injury would be keeping you out at least for a couple of months. So fast as a fast bowler, I feel for him. I mean, Andrik Nokia is one such bowler who could have made a difference in this South African squad, because otherwise उनका अगर squad देखें तो काफी depth है उनके squad में. And we are talking about Henrik Klassen. He is of course in his purple or beyond purple patch of his life, but Temba Babuma, if we see his records in ODI, it is not a mean feat. If I say that in the last 20 ODIs, he might have 5 or 6 hundreds to his name.
Yeah, true.
So Timba Bavuma is in is also in his purple patch, according to other standards, I would say. But don't count out Temba Bavuma because he's the captain of the side for sure, but he's also a very good batter. He might not look that threatening, but you would never know कि उसने कब आया और कब रन बना के चला गया. He is such kind of a batter. वो आते और पॉकेट वाले धमाका करके जाते हैं, छोटा पॉकेट बड़ा धमाका. So Timba Bavuma is such a player for me, and apart from him, all the other players are suited for their role. Quinton de Kock last World Cup, as he has said that he would play for the last time for South Africa. He is one batter who will just smash it out if it is in his zone. Then Isa Hendricks is a very good player again. Marco Jansen, I mean, he is also in a purple patch of sorts. Henrik Klassen, of course, we have discussed about him for a couple of minutes. And in Fakulkwayo, now he will be a crucial role. He will play a crucial role because he is one designated all-rounder in the squad. Because besides him, I don't see a lot of all-rounders in the squad that they miss. Eden Makram is there, but the proper fast bowling all-rounder, Endile Fakulkwayo is the one player that might play a huge role in this World Cup for South Africa. He is not spoken about too much, but he is one such bowler who can bowl those slower ones and deceive the players much. And also at number 7, 8 might bat well as well. So he is a very good player over there. Then Keshav Maharaj, of course, is a match winner for South Africa, has been a match winner for South Africa for a long duration of time. Aaron Markram, again, he is a very, very good character to have in your side because you need that player who can bowl 4 or 5 overs of spin when required and can bat at any position. Now you want him to open, he can open. You want him to bat at number 3 or 4, he can bat at that position. You want to bat him at number 5, he can bat there. He is the most flexible guy in the squad, and he is in form as well. David Miller, I mean, the best finisher that you can get in this World Cup. So that is not to be questioned around there. Lungi Angidi, I mean, I would say on air that Lungi Angedi will make more impact than Kagiso Rabada in this series, in this World Cup. If he goes on to play those matches, 8-9 matches, I would say Lungi Angedi will pack that a punch above Kagiso Rabada. Then there is Tabrez Shamsi. Of course, he is one of the best spinners going around. Rasif van der Dussen. I mean, he will play a kind of role that Steven Smith does for Australia. Hold that innings up. Other batters around him can revolve and blast the innings out. I'm not too sure if they will like to fit both Tembauma and Rasif van der Dussen in the 11 at the same time. But if they do, he will be the player that he will play the kind of role that Stephen Smith does. But most likely, I think he might miss the playing 11 mark in the starters. Maybe he will get a look ahead when you need to play the spinners well in, let's say, after 4 or 5 matches in the World Cup. In the later half of the World Cup, Rasif van der Dussen might come in the squad, but to start with, I don't see him in the 11 for now. Then Lizard Williams, of course, is a decent enough player. So overall, the squad is structured really well. They have the backups also. So South Africa is again for me in the live stream day before yesterday. I also pointed out that South Africa are my number 4. I mean, we have 3 players, three teams: India, Australia, England, and my 4th team will be South Africa. I mean, New Zealand and Pakistan are on the hinges as the 4th and a half side or the 5th side, but my 4th side above all those, I would say a tinge bit is South Africa.
Yeah, even I completely agree with this. And even my 4th team is South Africa. And just because of the way that they are playing ODI cricket in the last few months or so, and the way that they have structured the squad, it's a great point that you mentioned. Ki you talk about backups है मतलब पूरे last 2 episode में हम लोग जो देख रहे हैं, the team having quality backups. is going to have a successful time in this World Cup. It's a long tournament. You really
Yeah.
can't expect the only 11 players that are playing in the first match to play all the matches 11. कुछ ना कुछ तो होने वाला heat factor है. You have lots of traveling fatigue होने वाला है. People don't see to tend to see these kind of things, but travel fatigue, heat factor, playing a long tournament and shorter breaks for that matter. These kind of things are going to force you to make some changes in those crunch moments. And I would say that South Africa has some quality backups. I mean, look at Rassie van der Dussen. Yeah, when he started in his first year of playing ODI cricket, he was averaging over 70, and great player of in this particular format, over 70, and now he's going to play as a backup. That should just tell you the picture of how dangerous the South Africa squad is.
Yes, absolutely. They have a very good squad, and the four key players, as Nasiruddin has mentioned over here, Quinton de Kock, Henry Klaasen, David Miller, and Markram. These are the four
True.
key batters in the squad, and then there are bowlers. So this is a very good, very good squad on paper, on practical scenarios as well. South Africa, we are counting on them to do good, as both me and Sanjit said that they are the fourth. Also, Saurabh Bhai is saying that they are the fourth side besides India, Australia, and England. For sure. I mean, not for sure, but hopefully. Nasiruddin is saying that you think twice for New Zealand final. I mean, they played final in 2015 and 19. So we are not counting New Zealand out for sure. They are one of the top contenders. I mean, as I said, South Africa just edges above them. I mean, in the current form, in the current practical scenario. But they are, if I have to say three number fours, then I have South Africa, New Zealand, and Pakistan. But my personal opinion is with South Africa. That is it. Otherwise, there is no difference in my personal opinion between South Africa, New Zealand, and Pakistan. They all three can qualify, and all three can do well and reach the semi-finals. This is it as of now from this particular team. This World Cup 2023, South Africa will be a dark horse. Yes, they are always a dark horse. My South Africa team rating is 8 out of 10. Sanchit, your rating?
Yeah, even I'll go with 8.5 out of 10 just because I feel that they deserve that point 0.5 point over the normal 8 out of 10 benchmark that you have for top teams just because of the way that they have structured their backups. And I always will talk highly about the backups. And just because of that, I think 8.5 and being the fourth team to make the playoffs or semifinals for that matter is fair enough.
Yes, absolutely. And for me as well, they are on, I mean, on par with Australia, England, India in terms of their backups. So I would also go on to say that 8.5 for me as well, as most of them have given. I believe South Africa's chances depend on Babuma's batting form. He scored 110 in the first ODI against India in 2022 and inspired South Africa to surprisingly win that ODI series 3-0. Absolutely agreed. As I said when we started the stream, we started discussing about South Africa, that Themba Bavuma might be the wily one. I mean, we all talk about Henrik Klaasen, Aiden Markram, David Miller, but Themba Bavuma might be the one who will do really good on these pitches, especially when he can rotate the strike well. So yes, he is one of the contenders. They are one of the contenders for the World Cup for sure. Moving on to the last team for the day, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, I mean, for me, Sri Lanka has been, I mean, they had multiple phases in the World Cup. In 2000, from 2007, I would say, or 2005 or 6, after winning the World Cup in 1996, they won.
Yeah.
96, they won. Post that, I would say they had a decent side or a very good side from 2004 or 5. They had a very good bunch of players, Mahila Zavardhana, Sangakara, Tirakratha Dishan, all these players coming in, and along with Malinga and all. They had a very good with Muralidharan, Rangana Herath. They had a very good squad, and that is why they played 2007 final, 11 final, and did really well post that as well. One couple of or say did really well in T20s format as well. I mean, one in 2014 if I'm not wrong, 14 or 16. So
14.
they are a very good. They were a very good side till 2014-15 when Sangakara post 15. they had a slump till 2015. From 2005 to 2015, they were the golden side. I would say golden. They had the golden era from 2005 to 15. Post that, they had a slump in the form. I mean, when Sangakkara retired, Mahela Jayawardene retired, Wilson retired, Malinga retired. Everyone went off, and they had to rebuild their squad where they lacked for a couple of years till 2019 or 20 start. I would say they had a slump of 5 years, approximately 5 years. Post that, now after 2020, 2022, they are again back in the contention. Winning 14 ODIs on a trot is not a joke. Whether you play on in any condition, I mean, the only team to have managed more wins in a trot is only Australia. I mean, post Australia, that they won 21 odd ODIs in a row, 21 or 28. I'm not too sure. That those ODIs that they won on a trot. Post that, Sri Lanka is the side who have won more than 12 ODI games in a stretch. So that is a very huge achievement from their side. Yes. So for Sri Lanka, they are a very good side as of now, and they have almost all the bases covered up for, I would say, the Asian condition that we keep on repeating. Sri Lanka, Sanchit, for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you talk about Sri Lanka, you remember all the greats who have played in the past. I mean, we grew up in the era of watching the elegant Kumar Sangakkara with his left-handed prowess, Mahela Jayawardene, the stories about the 2011 finals, him scoring 100, Tilakaratne Dilshan, Chaminda was also, while growing up, a great left-arm pacer, Malinga, who is a cult hero in India also. So we have seen Sri Lanka actually as a dominant team, Asian team for that matter. They won Asia Cup for fun in the late 2000s as well. So at least for me, while growing up, I've always seen Sri Lanka being a very good Asian side. They've always made the World Cup finals or any ICC tournament. They were always there in the final. Talk about 2007. 2009 in the T20 World Cup final, they lost to Pakistan. 2011 ODI World Cup final, 2013 semi-final in Champions Trophy, and so on. I mean, you can talk about Sri Lanka in ICC event. They were always among the top four. But yeah, as you rightly spoke, 2015 ke baad, when their greats retired, they really didn't have an idea of how to face that transition, and that actually pegged them back in progress. जैसे progress के बारे में बात करते, they pegged them that by at least 5 years, and now we are here 8 years after that. We can not confidently say that they are a good side as they used to be before, but a stable side, I would say. Even though they lost a couple of key players due to injuries, I think
Wanindu
they
Hasaranga.
lost Manindo Hasaranga, and also they lost the pacer. I forgot his name. Also, they just lost him towards the end. I forgot his name, but yeah, they did face quite a lot of injury concerns towards the starting of the tournament, but still they have a good side. Just the political or maybe the unrest that they had with the captain Dashan Shanuka, I think he was almost removed as a skipper just before the World Cup. I thought that was a rumor which was not good for the side. Thank God that they stuck with this because we don't know the clear picture. But apart from that, batters wise, they do have quality players in form. Kushal Mandis had a wonderful game in the warm up. He scored 150 odd runs. Dhananjay De Silva is known for his good play, ability of playing spin. And Samara Vikrama, who is actually slowly making through the ranks. He had a wonderful time in Asia Cup. Before that, in the qualifiers as well, was amongst the top run getters. Bowling wise, also, Ronak, I think they have a good bowling attack. Even though they are losing out on Valnindo Hasiranga, especially in this condition, still मतलब ऐसे कह सकते हैं यार, मतलब they do have quality bowlers. Vela Lage, who I think India loves to give debutants an opportunity to shine. He is now going to play a crucial role in his first ever ICC event, which is going to be really a big pressure for him. Mahesh Theekshana, I think Ronak, you will know him the best. Yeah, him playing for your franchise, I think he's going to enjoy bowling in this country on these pitches as well. So overall, I think Lanka on paper do have a good playing 11, but it's just about the backups. Yeah, what happens if you face another injury? Who do they bring in? They have traveling reserve. I think one of the few teams who have named a traveling reserve in this particular World Cup, and Shamika Karunaratne, who is known to be their all-rounder. So they have them in the backup. So injuries अगर हो जाती है, then Sri Lanka के लिए थोड़ा सा tough होगा. But playing 11 wise, I think they should do okay for the tournament.
Yes, playing 11 boys, they are all they have been a settled squad for some time now. I mean, uh, the way they have played in recent times goes on to say that they are one of the squads which might surprise a lot of teams. I mean, they have built their squad around that structure because Kusal Mendes is a very good batter over there at the top, along with him, Patum Nesanka. I mean, I have been following Patum Nesanka since I would say 2018-19 when he used to play under 19s for Sri Lanka. For me, what he did against New Zealand in New Zealand in 2021, I guess, I'm not too sure about the year, but the way he played against New Zealand in New Zealand and made that 50 odd runs on those seeming conditions when none of the other batters, either from New Zealand or say from Sri Lanka, were doing well. He was one of the batters who had decent outing over there. So I hold him in high ranks. He plays spin well. He plays pace well. So Pathum Nesanka for me is one such batter. He can be very good in these conditions. One is him. Then apart from him, then Dhananjay De Silva. I mean, I always look out to him as one of the best all rounders. I mean, he is not talked about a lot, but for me personally, on personal level, I would say he is the top three all rounders in the limited overs format right now for me in the world cricket, not just Sri Lanka. For in the world cricket, I would say because he bats in the top four, he gives you 10 overs consistently and does really well with the on the field as well. So for me, Dhananjay De Silva is one such player. DDJ as they DDS they call him in the mix, and he has done really well for Sri Lanka. I mean, they have good players at the top. They have good bowlers at the bottom. One player which is keeping the whole squad united, the glue in their side is Dhananjay De Silva. So I rate him really high. In my personal opinion, he is a very good bowler who can do really well in these conditions, in Indian conditions, and I mean, he will be one of the stars to remember. If I'm going not too far, I would say he will turn out to be the best all rounders in this World Cup. If there is any, so I would say that they have a very good squad around Dhananjay De Silva, and then Dusmanta Hemanta, Mahesh Tikshana. Of course, Mahesh Tikshana, I would know him really well because of the connect. Dunit Verolage, Kasun Rajita, Mathisha Patrana, again a very good bowler. Lairu Kumara and Dilshan Madhushanka. All these players have done really well in the recent past 2-3 years, and that is testimony to the fact that they are in the World Cups right now, and they will be one of the sides to watch out for. Not the top four contenders maybe right now, but you never know what might happen. अगर पहला चार पांच मैच में से दो तीन जीत गए तो you will start considering them, and they might actually punch the pack. So a very good side for me. And besides them, I would say I mean, playing 11 wise, they look really sorted to me. I mean, they have the perfect balance. I mean, two players who can bowl in the top five, and then they have five proper bowlers who can bat a little. So for me, they have a perfect balanced squad in their mix. And they have good backups in place for their positions as well. So I would say very good squad picked by Sri Lanka. I mean, if they could have done the best, they have done their best as of now. Sri Lanka has strike batsman in Dasun Sanuka, captain and how can we forget Dasun Sanuka? I mean, he came in India, he was thrashing India all across the ground. I mean, if I'm not wrong, he had what 3 or 4 half centuries on a trot against India at one point in time. He was just making
Yeah.
runs for fun in India against India. So Dasun Sanaka, I mean, he is one such player who comes at number 7, wears the number 7 jersey, and who knows? I mean, he might do well in India. Sri Lanka good bowlers missed two players like Lasit Malanga and Nuwan Kulasekara. I mean, Nuwan Kulasera is one such player that no one talks about, but he has been one bowler who, because of Lasit Malinga, was under radar. Otherwise, he would have been a champion player. He would have been the next best bowler to become out of Sri Lanka. But because of Lasit Malinga's hype, he got a bit under covers.
They do have a Lasit Malinga duplicate in the side. I mean, of
Baby
course, you
Malinga.
can't. Yeah, baby Malinga, Matisha Patirana, who will be playing a crucial role for them in the middle overs and the death. I think if I think they really love they really love bowling in the middle overs. So I think they really have a good squad structured based on that.
Yes, absolutely. They have a very good structure right now for the playing 11. So, final things right now before we wrap this stream, because nothing more to speak about. We have spoken about the 10 teams. श्रीलंका इज द 10th टीम राइट नाउ. अगर आपने मिस किया है तो प्लीज स्ट्रीम, कल वाला स्ट्रीम भी देखिएगा. वहां पे हमने 5 टीम की डिस्कशन की थी. आज 5 टीम की है और कल नहीं, अब तो आज कहना पड़ेगा. आज ही वर्ल्ड कप का पहला
Hmm.
मैच है in England versus New Zealand, the finalist of 19 World Cup. This is huge. But in the context of the game, just to wrap it up, ratings, Sanchit.
Ratings of Sri Lanka, I don't want to be too harsh, but obviously I see them as a decent side. But when you talk about contending for the top four, I'm really not sure. Are they on the same level as the top four we discussed? So I'm going to give them a decent 7 out of 10 just because of their playing 11 and the way that they have built the squad in the last few years amidst the crisis, not just in cricket point of view, but also what was happening in the country, all the political disruption that they faced, and it is difficult to actually play
The
cricket in that
economic
kind of a
crisis
mental
as well.
exactly economical crisis. So there were lots of issues that Sri Lanka as a country faced, not just from cricket point of view. So to actually recover from that and playing a potential like where they were on the risk of missing out on World Cup at one stage, to go through that phase and winning 14 matches in a row, I think it's absolutely brilliant. So just because of that, I'll give them 7 out of 10. And I, as a cricket fan, I do want to see them upset a few. I wouldn't say upset in these Asian conditions, but it's ICC event, so upset is the right word to describe if a lower level team is beating a giant. But I do see them upsetting quite. I think one or two teams at the top who will be contending at the top four spot. Maybe England, maybe Australia. You never know, or maybe even India at one day.
Well, England are their bunnies for sure in World Cups. I mean,
Yeah,
they might be the one team who beats England in the playoffs, or was it league stage, not playoffs, but league stage for sure. I mean, that is what might happen. But my rating, if I would say Sri Lanka, for me, just because we are playing in India, if we would have said that they are playing in uh, Australia, England, or somewhere else, I would have said that 5 or 6. But just because they are playing in favorable conditions, they are playing in Indian conditions, which they know really well. Their players have been traveling to India a lot often than not, and we play. I mean, if we have a gap or say a window where we can invite any team to play for a bilateral with India's, then Sri Lanka is one such team. We have played, I mean, 5 years in a row. I think we have played bilateral series with them. They are the
yeah,
only side. So they play in India a very, very, I mean, a lot of cricket in India. So I would say just because on the basis of experience that they have of playing in India, the squad that they have built around, and the results that they have gotten in the recent past, I would say for me they are a 7 kind of side. For me, they might punch above their weights and be not in the if in the top four, maybe in top fives as well. I mean, I would top five or top six at least.
yeah,
So
definitely.
that is Sri Lanka for me. I mean, I see them on very high regards just because they are playing in India. Uh, that is what we discussed about the 10 teams. Now let's do an interesting thing right now. I mean, let's say who are your top 10 teams in rankings wise. जितने लोग देख रहे हैं अपने नंबर 1 से नंबर 10 तक रैंक कर दीजिए एंड कीप अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ इट. आप स्क्रीनशॉट ले लीजिए आपके टॉप 10 में 1 to 10 कौन से आते हैं. नॉट जस्ट द 4 फाइनलिस्ट बिकॉज सभी फाइनलिस्ट जो सबको सब हर कोई 4 पूछेगा. हम आपको बोल रहे टॉप 10 जो खेल रहे हैं वर्ल्ड कप्स में, टॉप 10 रैंकिंग वाइज कौन से होंगे. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. अगर सही हुआ तो यू विल नेवर नो, हम लोग के पास कुछ होगा देने के लिए. बट राइट नाउ वी वोंट से एनीथिंग. बट एज ऑफ नाउ टॉप 10 आपके कौन से होंगे रैंकिंग वाइज. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 आप कमेंट्स में लिख के अभी बता सकते हैं या फिर आप बाद में देंगे तो आप बाद में बताइए. बट बताइएगा जरूर. संचित, if we start with our rankings. First of
Hmm.
all, if we are saying number 1, then we are potentially saying नॉट इफ दे विन द वर्ल्ड कप्स, वी आर सेइंग जो जो लीग स्टेज होगा उसमें नंबर वन पे कौन रहेगा?
Number one league stage, I think it is safe to go with India because I personally feel that India does well in league stages. I mean, we all can agree on this. League stage aata hai, India can really play freely. They know the conditions well. They have played lots of good cricket. They have a good squad. So first rank, I'll go with India. And second, it is a bit of a hassle for me, but I'll go with England for that matter because I feel that somewhere they might just overcome the challenges that we faced. We said they might face in this World Cup with the inexperience in spin bowling attack and everything. So I'll go with number two for England. Number three, Australia. I think they'll do really well in the World Cup, but because of the fixture congestion that they will have, I think potentially against they'll be facing India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, New Zealand, England in their first six matches. So somewhere I see them slipping up. I'm not really sure where, but just because of that, I'll go with them at number three. And number four, I'll go with South Africa because South Africa, as we mentioned, that both of us agree on this point that they will be the number four team going into the World Cup. So on my rankings point of view, I think it will be an India South Africa semi-final in Mumbai, and the Ashes enemies will be playing in the other semi-final in Kolkata. But apart from that, number 5 to 10 is where it gets very, very interesting. So for me, the number fifth team, I'll go with Pakistan. I think they will just join the party towards the end. They might they might lose their way towards the middle and they'll start off well, but they might lose their way towards the middle and end well. So that is why I'll go with number five for South Africa. The number four spot will be very, very interesting according to me. I think it will be decided on NRR or maybe on 1 point kind of a difference. Number six, I'll probably go with Sri Lanka because I feel that they are just a little bit better than Bangladesh, especially in ICC tournaments. So that is why I'm going with Sri Lanka at number six. Number seven, I'll go with Bangladesh. I think they'll do okayish for their point of view. They might upset one of the big boys in this tournament. Hopefully, Australia for that matter. That would be some amazing thing to see. And I think the last two teams, I think if I'm forgetting, I think it will be Afghanistan and Netherlands. Afghanistan, they were winless in their last campaign in 2019. They lost all the nine matches. This time, I think they'll manage to win one or maybe two matches in this World Cup. Netherlands, I really want them to do well. I really want them to win at least one match, but I don't know where that one match is going to come. You look at all the teams; they are known for their experience, especially जो भी मतलब associate teams in this World Cup are all Asian teams, and you cannot really think here in Netherlands will beat an Asian team in this condition. So that is the reason why I feel Netherlands will be at the bottom of the table, maybe winless also. So this is my top 10 ranking.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I agree to most part of it. For me, the top tens will be again, as you say that you don't count India out in the league stages at least. उसके बाद भले ही करे ना करे वो 0 पे 3 या 0 पे 4 हो जाए वो सेमीफाइनल्स या फाइनल्स में. I mean, not wanting that to happen, but वो शायद हो जाए. But at least league stages में India is champions. I mean, number one India, number two अगेन इंग्लैंड को अभी काउंट आउट करना इज डिफिकल्ट. तो इंग्लैंड, नंबर थ्री ऑस्ट्रेलिया. सो दिस आर द टॉप थ्री फॉर श्योर. नंबर फोर में काफी सारे कंटेंशन है. न्यूजीलैंड है, साउथ अफ्रीका है एंड पाकिस्तान है. तीन टीम्स है बट आई वुड गो विद साउथ अफ्रीका. नंबर फाइव आई वुड से फॉर मी वुड बी पाकिस्तान. नंबर सिक्स वुड बी न्यूजीलैंड. नंबर सेवन would be Sri Lanka. Number 8 would be Bangladesh. Number 9 and 10 again Afghanistan and Netherlands. So almost the similar sort of
Yeah.
what Sanchit
I
said.
missed out on New Zealand actually. I forgot. I was missing out on 1 point. I'll actually place them below Pakistan. I'll place them at number six. Number five, number six to number four was the team spot in my ranking. I think they will be just be difference by 1 point or one match or maybe another. It will be so close for that number four spot. But I feel Pakistan will be at number five and New Zealand number six. Baki sab same. Niche.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel that Australia will not have a cakewalk in this tournament. I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
they might scrape off and go into the semi-finals, but I think only two teams, India and England, are for sure short. अभी लगा कि वर्ल्ड कप का सेमीफाइनल्स खेल लेंगी। उनके अलावा मेरे हिसाब से अभी कोई श्योर शॉट बाकी और कोई टीम्स नहीं है। तो
True.
that is what we think right now at the stream, and we are 1 hour 42 minutes into the streams and just discussing 5 teams. अगर 10 टीम एक साथ करना होता तो it would have gone for ages. But कल वापस मिलेंगे to discuss the match tomorrow in New Zealand versus England that we will discuss tomorrow. वापस से रिव्यू करेंगे मैच का और फिर नेक्स्ट दिन के मैच का प्रीव्यू भी होगा। तो प्लीज जॉइन अस, प्लीज ट्यून इन फॉर दैट एज वेल। टाइमिंग्स ऑलमोस्ट सेम रहेंगी 11 बजे के आसपास, जस्ट बिकॉज वी हैव लॉट ऑफ वर्क कमिटमेंट्स। Besides that, I think everything is settled as of now, and we have discussed a lot of things. अगर पसंद आया तो प्लीज स्ट्रीम को लाइक कीजिएगा, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिएगा। Any parting thoughts, any final thoughts, Sanchit, before we wrap up and we start thinking about the first match of the World Cups?
Exactly. I think we should wrap it up by talking about the World Cup hype being. I mean, we started off talking about the World Cup fever just upon us. Countdown चालू किया था बीच में कि 15 hours to go, 16 hours to go, and now we are ending it on a perfect note because we have crossed the 12 a.m. in India for that matter. So we have officially begun the World Cup fever in India because it is 5th of October. This was the date ICC told us, all the cricket fans told us to mark the date, 5th October to 19th November. And finally, the day is here. Within just hours of time, you'll see the action unfold in front of you. So for the next 45 days or so, it is gonna be a cricket crazy carnival. Not just in India, not just in Asia, but the entire world where cricket is being watched. And we can forget all the stress, all the worries that we have had in our personal life, in our educational, academic life. Exams है, it's okay. Exams आते जाते रहते हैं, but World Cup 4 साल में एक बार आता है. No, I'm just joking. है exam भी मतलब important है, but emotions भावना में आप समझ सकते हो. But it's gonna be a crazy 45 days for all of us, and especially from Indian point of view, we are all Indian fans at first, and we know what kind of moment this is for all of us. World Cup in India, pressure is amongst us, and we can already like start dreaming about that possible thing happening. And it is okay to dream because you obviously want that to happen. It is a perfect story tale, just like what we dreamt of in 2011. So if that happens, I mean, the country is going to go berserk. But still, a long way to that. You need to follow the process, and at the end, of course, the most importantly, you should enjoy each and every match, whether it is India playing, England playing, New Zealand playing, anyone is playing. You should enjoy the next 45 days because moments like this are to be cherished. And with this, I would conclude by saying that finally, the moment we all were waiting for is here, and then we are going to cherish the next 2 months or so.
Yes, absolutely, and I can completely agree. And I remember 2011 वर्ल्ड कप था और उस समय I think I was giving my 10th boards that year. I mean, 10th और 12th का एग्जाम था. I'm not too sure. किसी एक फेज में था. Let me recall. I guess it was 10th का फाइनल्स, if I'm not wrong. 10th का फाइनल्स दिया था. I'm not too sure. मतलब इतना भी याद नहीं है फिलहाल. But आई रिमेंबर एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले मैं पूरा मैच देखा था और मेरी मम्मी जो है पीटने आ गई थी पीछे से कि जाके पढ़ाई क्यों नहीं कर रहा। आई मीन दैट इज एंड आई रिमेंबर वन मोर थिंग, साउथ अफ्रीका के अगेंस्ट एक मैच था एंड आई कंप्लीटली रिमेंबर कि मैं अपने पापा के साथ देखा था, पापा अंकल से बैठे हुए थे साउथ अफ्रीका के अगेंस्ट मैच, एंड जब वो मैच हारने वाले थे ना, माय फादर सेड कि भाई टीवी बंद कर दे और जाके जाके पढ़ाई कर या फिर कुछ और कर, बट मैच मत देख, दुखी हो जाएगा और कल जो है फिर एग्जाम अच्छा नहीं होगा। तो आई रिमेंबर दोस मेमोरीज क्लियरली 2011 वर्ल्ड कप का, एंड दैट इज वेरी फ्रेश टू मी। एक एक मैच के पहले क्या हुआ था, हाउ आई स्टडीड बिफोर दैट मैच, तो वो सब पूरा सीन्स एकदम विविडली याद है। तो होपफुली वापस से बोर्ड्स का एग्जाम तो नहीं देना है मुझे, बट होपफुली वापस से वो मेमोरीज वापस बनेंगी इस बार एंड वी विन द वर्ल्ड कप फॉर इंडिया। लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस। बट यूसुफ भाई सेइंग इंग्लैंड, इंडिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, न्यूजीलैंड टॉप 4 तो फिर भी चलो मैं मान लेता हूँ। नंबर 5 पाकिस्तान भी यूज ओके, नंबर 6 पे नेदरलैंड्स रखा है। आई मीन दैट इज ह्यूज थिंग ओवर देयर। नंबर 6 पे नेदरलैंड्स है, नंबर 7 पे बांग्लादेश, नंबर 8 पे अफगानिस्तान ठीक है, साउथ अफ्रीका नंबर 9 पे है। आई मीन दैट इज a big bold call by Yusuf over there. I mean, Yusuf भाई आप क्या कर रहे हैं? साउथ अफ्रीका श्रीलंका नंबर 9-10 पे, श्रीलंका को नंबर 10 पे रखते तो फिर भी मैं एक बार के लिए हजम कर लेता कि नंबर 10 पे श्रीलंका को रखा है, बट नंबर 9 पे साउथ अफ्रीका को, आई मीन आई एम नॉट टू श्योर अबाउट दैट. बट आपकी प्रेडिक्शन है, वी रेस्पेक्ट ऑल द प्रेडिक्शंस. आपकी प्रेडिक्शन है होपफुली अच्छी रहेगी, सही रहेगी. बट रैंकिंग्स में काफी कुछ चेंजेस हमारे से हैं. टॉप फोर ऑलमोस्ट वी कैन अग्री अपॉन, मतलब नंबर 4-5-6 पे, नंबर 4-5 और नंबर 9 पे जो इन्होंने रखा है वो ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही रहेंगी सबकी, मतलब ऊपर नीचे. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट नॉट टू मच ऑन द सेम पेपर, बट एज ऑफ नाउ दैट इज व्हाट इट इज. लास्ट कमेंट ऑफ द डे बाय वर्णता. संचित सब तुम्हारी तरह टॉपर नहीं होते. या संचित इज द टॉपर, इज द लेजिटिमेट टॉपर. हम दोनों एक ही बैच के मास्टर्स किया था और वहां पे संचित भाई ने टॉप मारा था. एंड आई फेल शॉर्ट बाय कपल ऑफ मार्क्स ओवर देयर by Sanchit the
By the
legend Desai.
barest of margins.
Like they say, either you win or either you World Cup. अब न्यूजीलैंड को क्या बोलेंगे मतलब right now. Anyways, that is it from today's stream. Let's hope that we have a cracker of World Cup and the best team wins the World Cup. फिलहाल के लिए अभी 12 घंटे भी नहीं बचे. 12 नहीं, आई मीन 2 बजे से मैच स्टार्ट, आई गेस 2 बजे, 12 बजे से स्टार्ट है ना.
14 hours, yeah. 14 hours बोल सकते हैं.
14 आवर्स के बाद जो है मैच शुरू हो जाएगा एंड विल ऑल हैव अ फैंटास्टिक वर्ल्ड कप on our cards and we'll enjoy the World Cup as a celebration around it, and let's see what it unfolds for us, for India, for every other cricket fan who will watch as their country plays in the World Cup. But besides that, this is it from the Third Man Cricket Show for this preview of the World Cup. होपफुली सबको मजा आया हो. संचित को पता नहीं मजा आया कि नहीं आया, उनको मैंने बहुत बहुत
Definitely,
बोर
yeah.
किया होगा.
Almost 2
anyways,
hours we constantly kept going. Of course, मजा आया.
yes, absolutely, and thank you all in the comment section. जितने भी comments आपने किए, will we cherish all the comments और hopefully किसी को comment miss नहीं हुए. Major comments miss ना हुए, एक आध हुए होंगे but major comments miss ना हुए हों. Thank you so much for tuning in. कल वापस मिलते हैं after the match to review the match. तब तक के लिए this is Ronak Kedia and Sanchit Desai signing off from the Third Man Cricket Show. Take care, bye bye, good night. Have a good night's sleep if you can.